So we are arriving in Scotland. Dad and I have to look at the name of the place. It starts with a U, I think. You think so? They'll say it for us when we get to the tender. Because I can always take photos off of video. Ula Pool, I believe. We'll find out.
So the road can get quite busy twice a day. Those would have been as high as the Alps in Europe, 12,000 skews, not Kyle, Kyle of Loch Alsh. It terminates at Kyle of Loch Alsh because this was where you traditionally can. Then comes down and it hits the turbines in Loch Glascarno here, and as the water passes the turbines, it then goes down that. The main ingredient for our whiskey. So our whiskey is made of, our malt whiskey is made of 3 ingredients and 3 ingredients only, and you'll hear about it today. It was actually made by monks in the 12th century. Monks were very well learned people. They were alchemists. Not only were they holy men, they were very well read, and they brought this process of distillation from the Far East, and that's when we end up with that spirit, a lot of strong alcohol. But it's not whiskey. We can't call it whiskey yet by law. This area here is Fraser country. This is where the Clan Frasers controlled. Sometimes known as the Lovets. They were so the chief of the Clan Frasers also had a title. He's called Lord Lovett. But the author of the Outlander series, Diana Gabaldon, and she originally was a medical researcher. So she was a great researcher. And she did a lot of research into Scottish history, and she had this idea, and she wrote the book and caught the imagination, and then she eventually wrote a whole series of these books following the 2 main characters, which was Jamie Fraser, the Jacobite hero, big hunk of a Scotsman in his kilt, and the love of his life was a lady called Claire Randall, and she originates from the Second World War, the period of the Second World War, which through some magic she passes through time. She steps through the Standing Stone and ends up through the stone in 1745 Scotland, and meets and falls in love with Jamie Fraser. And this is the story. Middays of perfumes, and thought that actually tastes quite nice, and they started to produce it to drink. So in the 12th century they started to produce this spirit, and they called it aqua vitae, because everybody spoke Latin then, didn't they? Aqua vitae means the water of life.
We're at in Beaulieu at a, ruin of an abbey.
So I mentioned all that hydroelectric power that we harvest here. We've been doing it since the 1950s. Loch Droma, a little man-made loch. Some of the islands out there are man-made islands, little floating islands, and they're there to help nesting birds. A lot of rare nesting birds travel from the far north Arctic Circle and will come here in the spring. And claymores and shields was banned.
We are docking in the Orkney Islands. That's the northernmost part of Scotland. It's actually, we're Dr. Frankenstein fled to create the creature's wife, and then chopped her up and threw her overboard. A romantic side note. We literally, the boat just stopped. Whoa. Okay, we are in the Orkney Islands. Orkney Isles, northernmost point in Scotland. Oh, pretty pretty too.
Determine everything about Orkney, and it rather does. We are a strange mixture here of Scotland and Scandinavia, and you'll pick that up in the Orcadian accent that you will hear spoken around Orkney. It's like Scots but with a singy-songiness of the Scandinavian accent. Bridge Farm. And now we are on an area of land known as the Ness of Brodgar, and this is the site 13. A very important Orcadian was born there. His name was Dr. John Rae, R-A-E, and as a young man he trained as a medic. And just here to the left was the site of the main excavation trench. Basically the archaeologists here found a very ancient set of structures. At the Ring of Brodgar here on the left. Beautiful site, my favourite place in the world because I got married here. Got married here 18 years ago, so where else does an archaeologist marry another archaeologist but at a 5,000-year-old stone? It's now on UNESCO's list of World Heritage Sites that are at risk of being destroyed by the climate change emergency. Ring of Brodgar was known as the Temple of the Sun. These roads are not made for wide vehicles like, and they did get some nice radiocarbon dates out here, and they did get some dating for 3100 BC, which means it's one of the earliest stone circles and henges to be built.
Your boat's got to walk in rhythm with my boat, you understand? We both go down.